Genesis 1 gives us the creation account, but did you know other ancient Near Eastern pagan religions also had their own creation stories? After all, for thousands of years, we've been asking why and how we got here, and each religion has come up with its own answer. In the 1600s BC, the Babylonians had their creation epic called Enuma Elish. Basically, it opens with this dark, chaotic, watery mess, and then Tiamat, the goddess of chaos, is ruling. Our hero Marduk challenges Tiamat to combat and destroys her. He then rips her corpse into two halves with which he makes the earth and the skies. Marduk then creates the calendar, organizes the planets and stars, and regulates the moon, the sun, and the weather. Now, if you compare this to Genesis 1, you're actually going to see some similarities. Genesis 1:2 talks about how the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. So, we have this dark, watery mess, and then God separates the darkness from light, and water from atmosphere, and land from water. Now, some people recognize this and they freak out, thinking that, well, maybe Genesis copied the creation story from this Babylonian myth, the Enuma Elish. But that's not it at all. See, no, God knew what he was doing. Back then, everyone was familiar with this Babylonian myth, so Genesis 1 is written in such a way that diametrically opposes the Babylonian story. There aren't multiple gods fighting in heaven, and our hero is not Marduk, but rather it's the one true living God. And God effortlessly spoke things into being. And besides, it's even possible that the Babylonians saw parts of Genesis 1 to justify pagan worship of Marduk. But Genesis 1 makes it clear that Yahweh is the creator of all things, and only he should be worshipped. So, there you go, a little bit about Babylonian creation mess, and that's enough today for our historical minute.